Katsina hosts inaugural Northwest Peace and Security Summit. NCDC activates National Emergency Center as cholera death toll reaches 53. And police arrest 4 suspects over murder of retired general in Abuja. And on the international scene, 18 Chinese among 22 dead in South Korea battery plant fire. A very good evening and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. My name is Sagir Ibrahim. The news in full. Nigeria's northwest region has been the epicenter of banditry, which continues to distrust the region that has been grappling with poverty and massive unemployment. In its inaugural summit to address this phenomenon, governors of the northwest region, in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme, kicked off a 2-day event to find long-lasting solutions. From Katsina, Abdullahi Yamadi completes the report.
Distinguished panelists, moderators.
It is an event that many considered long overdue.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Northwest Nigeria has become synonymous with insecurity over the last few years. This is why this summit signposts a renewed push to find solutions to the unending insecurity bedeviling Nigeria's most populous region. Stakeholders from across different sectors are taking part in this summit to advocate for local approach towards solving security challenges.
Our meetings over the past few months have shown our readiness for a paradigm shift in achieving peace in northern Nigeria. We have established the need for combining military interventions with police reform, local policing enhancement, peace-building programs, dialogue promotion, and educational campaigns to address the underlying causes of conflict. We have also identified a roadmap that includes integrated military, political and socio-economic strategies, enhancing cross-border cooperation, investing in youth empowerment and education, strengthening local institutions, promoting inclusive dialogue, prioritizing prevention and resilience building measures, and engaging regional labors for support.
We will be the ones to work for this and end this problem if we so desire. Nobody will come from somewhere to work for us. Nobody will come from home to solve these problems. We must solve our problem. I'm very much pleased with this inaugural meeting of the Northwest Governors Forum.
Speakers at the 2-day security summit acknowledged that without proactive measures and increased resilience, tackling insecurity will take time. However, they agreed that with the abundant human and natural resources available, achieving peace is possible.
Your Excellencies, the Northwest region holds immense potential for transformation as we navigate the challenges of fragility. The region, her people, and leaders embody the resilience, hope, and potential that needs to be connected to opportunity. Minerals alone offer a promising avenue, with close to 40 mineral deposits, including gold, copper, gypsum, granite, name them. Effective management and governance of these resources with appropriate benefit sharing mechanism will not only enrich the region's coffers, but also pave the way for prosperity.
Nigeria continues to experience a number of challenges in environment, security, economy, humanitarian, and nature. And all of them exacerbated by conflict, exacerbated also by the climate crisis. Left unsolved and unmanaged, violent conflict will continue to undermine the enormous potential that this country has.
Governor Diko Murrder of Katsina State highlighted the commitment of the Northwest Governors Forum to take a unified stand aimed at addressing multidimensional poverty through agriculture, small and medium enterprises, and skills acquisition programs, among other initiatives, with a view to changing the narrative.
Banditry has cast a shadow over our communities. It has disrupted lives, staple economic activities, and instilled fear among our people. cannot allow this menace to define our region. As leaders, we must adopt a multiple-set approach that includes robust intelligence gathering, community policing, and deploying advanced security technologies. Furthermore, we must enhance the capacity of our national security forces through continuous improvement and adequate resources. To effectively combat banditry, we need to strengthen our intelligence network. This means improving our surveillance system, investing in modern technology such as drones and satellite imagery, and enhancing coordination among various security agencies.
Despite its seeming importance, some public commentators say the summit will not achieve much in addressing the challenges of insecurity in the region, especially if gaps that exist at the community level remain unaddressed due to lack of political will. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And bandits have killed the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research, Innovation and Development at the Usmanu Danfodio University, Sokoto, Professor Yusuf Saidu. The school, in a Monday statement, said the late Saidu was killed on his way to Kaduna from his Sokoto base. Described as a man of integrity, religion, dedication and courage, the school said his demise is a painful loss to the university, praying to God to rest his soul. And I now have joining us via telephone from Sokoto Regional Editor for the Daily Trust, Isho Adamu. Joining us via telephone. Welcome to the News Hour, Isho. Can you give us an elaborate breakdown of how this unfortunate development occurred?
As you have rightly said, late Professor Yusuf was on his way to Kaduna from Sokoto. And we learned that he left Sokoto around 10-11 this morning, in the morning. Unfortunately, he fell into the hands of bandits who were said to have operated between Safi and the Puntua local government in Katsina State.
All right.
The irony was that...
Go ahead.
The irony was that, according to some sources, the bandits have finished their operation when they later sighted the car used by Professor Yusuf coming towards their locations. What was happening was that the man was using a Hilux with custom color. So probably the bandits presume him to be an officer of the Nigerian Custom Service. So they opened fire at the vehicles, and he was traveling along with his driver. So Professor Yusuf was said to have died instantly or on the spot, and the driver was rushed to Safi General Hospital, and is currently receiving treatment at the hospital. That was the update we have gotten.
Quite an unfortunate situation there, especially seeing that it might be a case of mistaken identity. However, has there been any development, any word from the security agencies in the state?
Certainly there is none, neither from the police or soldiers.
An unfortunate situation there indeed. How about the university community? How have they taken this unfortunate development, the death of the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation?
Sincerely speaking, the entire staff of the university are in serious shock. I spoke with his close friend, Malam Yusuf, who also confirmed to me that they were in serious shock and mourning up till the time we were speaking. I was speaking with him.
We do hope definitely that subsequently the security and authorities would react to the development as well as brief us with regards to investigation and justice for the families. However, thank you very much, Ishawa Adamu, Daily Trust Regional Editor joining us
Thank you.
from Sokoto State. All right, moving on now. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has paraded 4 suspects in connection to the killing of a retired Army Brigadier General, Unwem Harold Udokwere, in Abuja. The late general was reportedly killed by suspected armed robbers who invaded his residence at Sunshine Homes Estate in Kabusa, Abuja, in the wee hours of Saturday. The FCT Police Commissioner Benneth Igwe, who paraded the suspects at the command's headquarters in Abuja on Monday, gave the names of the suspects as Ibrahim Rabiu, Nafiu Jamil, Aliyu Abdullahi, and Muhammad Nuhu, who are all residents of Apo, a satellite town of Abuja, the nation's capital. He said the suspects, who confessed to the crime, stabbed the late Brigadier General with a knife when he tried to resist them from dispossessing him of his pistol. According to him, the knife allegedly used by the suspects in committing the crime was recovered, adding that the late Army General's phone was recovered from them. CP Igwe, however, assured that the command is working towards arresting the 2 other fleeing robbers as well as recover the Army General's pistol from them. And the FCT Emergency Department has warned that a primary school with about 500 pupils, management and staff is sitting on the water channel at Trademore Estate, Lugbe, describing it as a disaster waiting to happen. The statement from Nkechi Isa, head public affairs of the department, also appealed to residents of about 116 houses marked for demolition at Trademore in 2023 to relocate. The statement dismissed as untrue media reports that 2 persons lost their lives to the devastating floods at Trademore Estate, Lugbe, on Monday. A video trending on social media on Monday morning alleged that 2 persons were swept away by the floods at the Trademore Estate. The statement noted that the acting director general of FEMD, Florence Dawon Wenegime, after an assessment of the affected areas, declared that no life was lost. According to Wenegime, the houses submerged by the Monday floods were parts of the 116 structures marked for demolition in 2023 when Trademore was declared a disaster zone. She stated that FCTA was prevented from removing the structures by a court injunction instituted by the Association of Residents of Trademore. And the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the NCDC, has activated its emergency center as the death toll in the recent outbreak of cholera reached 53 nationwide. This is according to a Monday update by the agency shared on its official X handle. In the update, the NCDC said as of 24th June 2024, a total of 1,528 suspected cases and 53 deaths have been recorded across 31 states. Meanwhile, the Ogun State government said 1 person had died and 25 cases of the disease were confirmed in the area. The casualty is from Ijebu North local government of the state. According to the Ogun State Health Commissioner, Tomi Koka, who gave the figure in Abeokuta on Monday, free surveillance and emergency treatment have been activated in all 20 local government areas of the state. Koka identified Abeokuta South, Abeokuta North, Obafemi Owode, Ijebu North, Ado, and Odota local government areas as the most hit by the disease. And following the recent cholera outbreak in several states, the Oyo State government has announced that it has identified 7 suspected cases in the state. The Commissioner for Health, Oluwaseremi Ajetomobi, disclosed this while addressing newsmen in Ibadan, the state capital. Here's more.
Nigeria is currently experiencing a cholera outbreak, with the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention reporting over 1,528 suspected cases in 31 states. The main cause of the outbreak has been linked to contaminated water and poor sanitation, made worse by the rainy season, which can spread the disease through flooding and unsafe water sources. The Oyo State government on Monday said it has identified some suspected cases, which it has placed under observation. The ministry also added that it has implemented measures to contain the outbreak and prevent further spread.
We have been preaching also to people that the source of their drinking water should be safe, because you know that by the time all these refuse, all these feces flow into the stream, and if that stream happens to be the source of water and they collect the water and the water is not safe, is not boiled, then becomes a problem. So the teaching now is that everybody should make sure that the water they are drinking is safe and clean. If you are sure that the water is not safe and is not clean, boil it. And you can't boil it, you can get chlorine tablets and use it to disinfect the water in such a way that when you yourself will know that you are drinking clean water. And so if you have to buy pure water or you have to buy bottled water, you can shake it to be sure that they don't contain particles, because some of them do this through the production. Some of them we call them pure water, but they are not pure. So what we can do is just to shake the pure water and be sure that they don't contain particles. If they contain particles, it's not good for drinking.
Regarding the ongoing strike by health workers in Oyo State, the commissioner assured that Governor Sheyi is actively working to address the workers' demands and resolve the issue.
They cannot do for a part and neglect the other. Everything has to be taken together, so that, because if you do for a part and neglect the other, it's a vicious cycle. Other two will come and they say they are going on strike then. So he's trying his possible effort to make sure that everybody is happy. Even though they may not see it, we have seen it, and the effort put in place to helping the people. But because you know that associations, they may want their own to be, their voice to be heard too. And maybe that's the whole essence of this strike. But just to tell them that effort is on the way to make sure that everybody is happy. All the unions will be sorted out accordingly.
The Oyo State government moved to contain cholera outbreak and end health worker strike in the state is seen as a major step taken to restore normalcy to the health sector.
And to more stories now, Nigeria faces a growing wave of asymmetrical security challenges that threatens its national stability. These threats, characterized by unconventional tactics and diverse actors, have complicated the nation's security landscape. Trust TV's Habibat Ajayi brings details in this report.
Nigeria is currently grappling with a series of security threats that are disrupting peace and stability across the country. Unlike traditional security threats, which typically involve direct military confrontations between states, asymmetrical threats are marked by irregular tactics employed by non-state actors. These include terrorism, insurgency, kidnapping, and cybersecurity, amongst others. Security experts argue that addressing these asymmetrical threats required a multifaceted approach, which involves tackling the root causes such as poverty, unemployment, and social inequality to achieve long-term solutions.
At one level, it is that of the attitude of the larger society that no longer realizes the connection between local intelligence supplied by civilians and the ability of the military and the security forces to utilize that intelligence for effective national security, to ensuring the integrity of national security. So at the level of target asymmetry, value asymmetry on all fronts, and then funding challenges, and then in addition to fake news. So all of that together, these are challenges. The business of the round table is to get credible individuals, institutions and institutes and platforms as strategic partners to drive objective, honest conversation about Nigeria with a focus on solutions, not description.
First, James Mayam, a retired major, emphasized should be on the need for comprehensive reforms in the security sector.
Because I can tell you, like for the Nigerian army, they are doing a whole lot for this country. We are losing personnel every day, making a lot of sacrifice in trying to contain the asymmetric challenges that all of a sudden are facing our country, Nigeria. But it is not all about that, because you have to think about the causative factors of this asymmetric challenges. What are the causative factors? And most of them revolve around governance issue. So what the army can do at best are kinetic operations. And indeed, these kinetic operations only create conditions for other processes, peace building, peace enablers to take place.
As Nigeria continues to navigate these complex asymmetrical security challenges, the importance of adaptive and innovative approaches cannot be overstated. Stakeholders says collaborative efforts between the government, security agencies, and communities will be crucial in restoring stability and safeguarding the nation's future. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And as part of efforts to promote peace and mass agricultural production, the Correspondence Chapel of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in Plateau State, in collaboration with Operations Safe Haven, has hosted a peace summit in Barkinladi local government area of Plateau State, themed promoting inter-ethnic and inter-religious dialogue towards ensuring food security in Plateau State. Stakeholders in the peace summit are calling for collective efforts in dealing with insecurity in the state.
Summit is part of our modest contribution towards the peace efforts of the state government and the security agencies, particularly the Operation Safe Haven. Beyond reporting security issues, we felt the need to bring young people of different tribes and religions from troubled communities in Mangu, Bokos, Barkinladi, Lyon, and Jos South LGAs to fashion our best ways towards a peaceful coexistence.
Recall that last year, our dear communities could not cultivate their farmland optimally due to displacement of communities from their ancestral homes. This summit is therefore apt as it would provide the avenue for discussion towards fostering understanding, build trust, and create way for collective solution to food insecurity in Plateau State.
There should be a policy to protect food, such as we protect animals in reserves. So food has no tribe, it has no language. The third point is that what we cannot create, we cannot eliminate.
The good among the Fulani, the good among the Biro, the good among the Muslims, when they join us to fight the criminal, irrespective of his religion, tribe, I think this crisis will stop.
And I appreciate you for coming up with this topic, so that young people who are always a veritable tool in perpetrating crimes and associated activities to be inculcated or be reminded as to the importance of peaceful coexistence.
The call by the Governor, Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, for the decentralization of the National Hajj Commission in order to break the monopoly in the handling of the activities of annual Muslims pilgrimage has continued to generate reactions from some Nigerians in Bauchi, the state capital. Governor Bala Mohammed made the call while addressing Bauchi pilgrims in Mina during one of the exercises in Saudi Arabia. Trust TV's Adamu Imam files in the report.
The latest reaction is coming from the Forum of Chief Executive Officers of State Pilgrims Welfare Board, agencies and commissions, who are vehemently rejecting the idea of decentralizing the commission on the grounds that it will allow the state governments to take over some of the commission's responsibilities. Their positions has been eliciting diverse reaction from some Bauchi residents.
Probably look at the situation that our pilgrims are facing presently is somehow. So my own take is that if the federal government may wish to decide to decentralize the issue to state government, it will reduce the burden and some hardship that the pilgrims are facing.
If they say they want to decentralize it, what do they mean? Are they going to fix their own hajj separately from what the Saudi government has set generally for the whole world, what is payable for that year? They can't, because the Saudi government will only ask the federal government, not state governments. People that are used to go to hajj, they are from the villages, and that villagers, they are more close to the state government than the federal. So if they have any problem, I think they can easily tackle their problems with the state than going to Abuja.
I'm calling on the state governors, so to say, let them put hands together with the federal government. Make sure that areas where there are challenges, areas where there are problems, what are those problems? Come together, put hands together, and make sure that you address those problems. Federal government cannot do without states, and state can never do without the federal government.
Governor Bala promised that collective action will be taken by state governments to break NACON's monopoly to ensure effective management of Hajj exercise if the Commission fails to address issues that arose during this year's pilgrimage. In his response, NACON boss Jalal Arabi apologized for the minor setbacks experienced during this year's exercise, assuring that necessary amendments will be made to prevent future occurrence. Adami Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Well, there you have it. Also, a community known as Primary School Community in Sabo Narabi area of Toro local government of Bauchi State is appealing to the state and federal governments to restore electricity supply to the community, which has suffered blackout for, get this, the last 1 year. According to the community, the prolonged lack of electricity has severely impacted the community's daily life. Trust TV's Ado Musa brings details.
The community, which comprises hundreds of homes, had complained that in July last year, staff from the Just Electricity Distribution Company removed their transformer, allegedly for repairs. According to the community, the staff promised to return the 500 kVA transformer within 2 days, but has yet to do so, leaving the community in darkness. Initially, we had power in the community, but some staff of Just Electricity Distribution Company in charge of the area came and removed the transformer. This is almost a year now, and the transformer has not been returned, and no reason has been given. We called them severally, but they didn't bring it back. We are appealing to the management of the company to restore the transformer and by extension, electricity. We have been subjected to total blackout after our transformer was taken away by staff of Just Electricity Distribution Company. We have reported the case to the headquarters, yet nothing has been done about it. This is the receipt of the transformer. It was given to us by the Bauchi State Government. It is a 500 kVA transformer. At the beginning, they told us they will return it in 2 days' time after repairs, but they haven't brought it till now, and we have not heard anything from them. We reported the matter to the headquarters, yet nothing has been done. The residents say the situation has also taken a toll on the community's safety as business activities has been crippled. They are therefore calling on the management of the company to come to their aid. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And to developments in Kano State, where the State Police Command has deployed more armed personnel to the two palaces housing the contending emirs in the metropolitan local government areas of Kano. It was gathered that the hunters guarding the two palaces withdrew with the arrival of more policemen at both palaces. The outgoing Commissioner of Police in the state, Usaini Gumel, confirmed the deployment during an interview with newsmen. Gumel said the deployment is to handle any unforeseen circumstances around the identified areas, ensure adequate security and foster peaceful coexistence within the state. In a call for public cooperation, the police commissioner appealed to residents to support the police efforts by providing information that could aid in maintaining peace and stability in the state. And still in Kano, a state high court sitting at Audu Bako has fixed July 11, 2024 to begin hearing on the fundamental rights suit of the leader of the New Nigeria People's Party, the NNPP, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and several others. The applicants in the suit are the New Nigeria People's Party, Ajuji Ahmed, Dikpo Olayanku, Ahmed Balewa, Clement Anele, Fola Shadi Aliu, Buba Galadima, and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. The respondents in the suit is the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC. When the case come up before Justice Yusuf Ubale Mohammed on Monday, counsel to the applicant Robert Horn told the court that they had served the respondents with the court processes on June 10th, adding that by the fundamental rights rules, they are to file their processes within 7 days. Horn noted that while the respondents have not filed their processes, they are also not in court and have not sent any correspondence. On his part, the judge said the respondents should be given ample time to respond. He therefore adjourned the matter to 11th of July 2024 for hearing of the substantive suit on notice. The court had issued an order restraining the EFCC from infringing, intimidating, arresting or harassing the applicants until the determination of the motion on notice.
They didn't send any correspondence. The judge, his own wisdom, said in the interest of justice they should be given ample time, even though they are against the rules of the court, fundamental rules. They have given them additional days. The matter has been adjourned to the 11th of July 2024 for the hearing of a substantive application. Before then, the court has issued them an interim restraining orders. Interim restraining orders against Economic and Financial Crimes Commission from attempting to infringe on the fundamental rights of our clients, the applicants.
The Kano State Judicial Service Commission has recalled 3 magistrates from their duties and issued warning to 1 other court registrar. According to the spokesperson of the Kano State Judiciary, Baba Jibo Ibrahim, the action is against Chief Magistrate Talatu Makama of Magistrate Court number 29, Senior Magistrate Rabi Abdul Kadir of Magistrate Court number 48, and Senior Registrar Abdul Nasir of the Appeal Section of the High Court in Kano. He said, sequel to the findings of the Judiciary Public Complaints Committee in respect to 3 petitions, the committee established acts of misconduct against the 3 magistrates. Ibrahim said the commission will continue to apply appropriate sanctions against any erring staff, particularly those saddled with judicial responsibilities, in order to safeguard the integrity and accountability of the judicial system and maintain the confidence of the public. These disciplinary actions, he noted, underscore the Judicial Service Commission's commitment to maintaining the highest standards of judicial conduct and ensuring the integrity of the legal system. And the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, the ICPC, has arraigned a former employee of the National Examination Council, NECO, Rose Defi, who was dismissed over allegations of certificate forgery. The trial was first scheduled for May 30th, 2024 before Justice G.D. Fomion at the Plateau State High Court, but was stalled due to the defendant's absence. The court ruled that Defi should be served the charge sheet through substituted means and be produced in court by her lawyer at the next hearing. On Friday, when the case was called, Defi, who was present in the court, pleaded not guilty to all 7 counts of forgery against her. In light of her plea, ICPC counsel Oji Iwagu requested another date for the trial's commencement, while the defense counsel PM Lere did not oppose this but asked the court to consider the bail application for his client. The presiding judge, Justice Fomion, after listening to the arguments of both counsels, granted Mrs. Defi bail in the sum of 2 million naira with 2 sureties and adjourned the case till September. And the Federal High Court sitting in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, has discountenanced a petition filed against the court by the pro-Wike Speaker of Rivers State of House of Assembly, Martins Amewule, to the Chief Judge of the High Court, seeking to stall the hearing of a case seeking to declare his seat and those of 24 others vacant at the High Court in Port Harcourt. Both the party and others as plaintiffs in the suit are praying the Federal High Court holding in Port Harcourt to declare the seats of Amewule and the 24 others vacant. When the court resumed on Monday for hearing, the court was confronted with a petition signed by Martin Amewule addressed to the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Toho, seeking the case to be reassigned to another court. However, the presiding judge, Pam, noted that in the first instance, the petitioner, Emewule, has no motion counter affidavit before him, adding that he is not yet known in the case. And former council chairman of 21 out of the 23 local government areas in Rivers State on Monday staged a protest at their various council areas. In Buguma, the headquarters of the Asari-Toru local government area, the former chairman, Onyeginyefori George, alongside his supporters, marched through the streets of the town chanting songs in solidarity with the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom. They waved placards with inscription asking the police to continue occupying the council headquarters. Some of the inscriptions read, Simfubara can't continue to act as he likes. There's no vacancy in Asari-Toru Council, among others. For weekend, former LGA bosses protested in their local councils despite an advisory against protests issued by the Rivers State Police Command. Also, in Abonema, the Akpu-Toru local government council headquarters, some persons staged a protest backing the continued closure of the council premises by the police. The police took over the secretariat of the 23 local government areas in the oil-rich South-South state last Tuesday, following the crisis that erupted over the 3-year tenure expiration of the former local government chairman. And following the proposed bill by members of the Southeast Zone in the National Assembly calling for the creation of an additional state in the region to address alleged marginalization that has led to violent agitation, youths in the state are saying they will support the creation of Anioma State as against Olu. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise tells us more.
According to a cross-section of the youths who spoke to Trust TV News, the call for an additional state in the Southeast geopolitical zone is ideal and should be done with all sincerity of purpose. They, however, insisted that Anioma State is better considered for the implementation of the proposal rather than Olu State.
Anioma State, we have to extract the other our Igbo brothers from other regions. In terms of people from Edo, people from Delta State, and other part of River State, it will be more equity to get those regions. That will give us more strength.
The creation of Anioma State represents peace, it represents unity, it represents equity. You see, when the geopolitical zones were created, there are things they considered, and those things is people that have the same political history and people that have the same culture. That is what was considered on issue of geopolitical creation. So, putting Anioma and creating Anioma State in Southeast is in line with the principles of the geopolitical creation in Nigeria.
The Southeast is already shortened by landmarks, and the creation of all those states will only end up returning the same landmarks and dividing the states we have existing. But Anioma State is increasing our landmarks capacity by getting extract of part of states from the south.
The senator representing Olu Zone, Osita Izunaso, and a federal lawmaker representing Idiato Federal Constituency within Olu Zone, Ikenga Ugochinyere, have presented the bill for deliberation in their respective chambers. The national president of Ohaneze Youth Council, Igboayaka O Igboayaka, who is of a different view, narrated reasons why the proposed Olu State may not scale through.
And it is the most strategic to address the agitation in Southeast and promote equity and unity in Nigeria. At this juncture, we call on the proponents of Olu State and Etiti State to stop and quit from such bill that lack merit in its entirety.
The proposed additional state, if achieved, will raise the number of states in the Southeast to 6, a situation many believe will go a long way to diffuse the claims of marginalization that have over the years caused agitation in the zone. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
And there you have it. Also, the remains of Hajia Maryam Al-Bashir, mother-in-law to Vice President Kashim Shettima, was on Monday laid to rest in Kano after funeral prayers at her family residence. The deceased, Hajia Maryam Al-Bashir, aged 69, was the mother of Hajia Nana Shatima, wife of the Vice President Kashim Shatima. Disclosing this in a statement, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Stanley Nkwacha, noted that Hajia al-Bashir's death is undoubtedly a great personal loss for the family of Nigeria's Vice President. According to the statement, the solemn event drew a large gathering of family members, friends and associates who gathered to pay their final respects. Among them were Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, Acting Governor of Borno State Umar Usman Kadafur, Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari, and Minister of State for Steel Development Uba Megari Ahmadu. Meanwhile, in a statement signed by the Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, on Monday, the President condoled with Shatima and his family over the passing of his mother-in-law. President Tinubu described the passing of Hajia Miriam as a deeply painful loss. The Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Ajibrin, his colleague Abdurrahman Kawu Somaila, and the 15th Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, have attended the funeral prayers of the mother-in-law of the National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. The funeral prayer was led by Sheikh Awalu Khalid, the Imam of Ganduje Residence Mosque at Miyangu Road in Kano at about 2:30 p.m. The deceased, Hajia Asia Muhammad Gayama, is the mother of Hafsat Umar Ganduje, the sole wife of Ganduje. Emir Bayero was represented by his Chief of Staff, Ahmadu Ado Bayero. She was buried at the Taroni Cemetery. Earlier, Ganduje, through his Chief Press Secretary, Edwin Olofu, said Hajia Asia Muhammad Gayama was a revered matriarch whose life was characterized by her unwavering commitment to family, community, and faith.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's now join Yusuf Akogo for Business News Update.
The federal government has spent a total of $15.55 billion on debt servicing between 2019 and 2024. According to the latest data from the central bank, in 2019, the country paid $588.33 million in debt servicing between January and May, while the payment for 2020 was $5.40 billion. The debt service payment continued to rise in subsequent years, with $2.02 billion paid in 2021, $2.34 billion in 2022, and $3.43 billion in 2023. CBN reports say between January and May 2024, the country has paid $2.18 billion in debt service. This is 270.9% increase compared to the first 5 months of 2019. The $2.18 billion in May 2024 is nearing half of the $4.8 billion projected by Fitch Ratings for the year. The increase is despite the government's assertion that it is shifting its focus towards domestic borrowing. Consulting firm PwC has projected a marginal decline in Nigeria's inflation to 29.5% by the end of the year. The company made a projection in the latest economic outlook report on Nigeria released on Monday. According to the company, the decline will be achieved as a result of the ongoing reforms and policy actions of the government. Despite the positive projection, the company highlighted key considerations for the government in the areas of policies that could help stabilize the economy. Specifically, it urged the government to prioritize macro stability by addressing security, social pressure points of inflation, and exchange rate pressures. As of May, data from the NBS shows that Nigerian inflation rate surged to 33.95%, up from 33.69% in April 2024. Commercial and merchant banks in Nigeria have borrowed an estimated 3.76 trillion naira from the CBN to meet their daily obligations in the first 3 weeks of June 2024. The central bank has continued to tighten its monetary rate amid spiral inflation and unstable foreign exchange market. In May 2024, financial institutions borrowed about 10.87 trillion naira from the CBN. This brings total borrowing by banks from the central bank in 5 months of 2024 to 53.7 trillion naira as against 10.02 trillion naira in the 5 months of 2023. The Nigerian Exchange Limited has fined 9 quoted companies 76.8 million naira for failure to file their audited financial statement after the regulatory due date. Reports show that the companies were sanctioned for their inability to meet their regulatory requirements for the year-end 2022 and 2023 financials. Some of the companies include African Alliance Insurance PLC, VFD Group PLC, FBN Holding PLC, Sterling Financial Holdings Company PLC, UPDC PLC, ABC Transport, Presco, amongst others. Market operators say the sanctions for non-compliance with the rules of listing on NGX is a welcome development as it will lead to more appropriate pricing of securities. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akoku.
And to news outside the shores of Nigeria, Senegal said on Monday that it had implemented voluntary COVID-19 screening tests and reimposed the wearing of masks at Dakar's international airport for returning pilgrims, fearing the virus was linked to the deaths of some Mecca pilgrims. Dakar suspects some of the 1,300 deaths, according to a Saudi tally, are down to a respiratory syndrome ailment such as COVID-19, Health Minister Ibrahim Sai said on Sunday. The Health Ministry said it had strengthened the health surveillance system by deploying a team at the airport to provide voluntary screening tests and identify pilgrims suffering from flu-like illnesses. Out of the 124 rapid diagnostic tests, 78 proved positive for the COVID-19 virus, 36 of which were later confirmed by PCR tests, the ministry said. Charles Bernard Sagna, Chief Medical Officer for the airport, said the alert was raised when the Senegalese medical team based in Jeddah had reported a significant number of passengers with respiratory problems. Saudi Arabia's official SPA news agency earlier reported 1,301 deaths at the annual Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca, where temperatures climbed as high as 51.8 degrees Celsius, according to the nation's National Meteorological Center. And 22 people were killed, including 18 Chinese nationals, in a massive fire at a South Korean lithium battery factory. Let's now join Emmanuel Fashimi for Sports News Update.
The Nigerian Football Federation has announced that the grand finale of the country's oldest cup competition will now take place at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Lagos, on Saturday, 29th June 2024. Earlier scheduled for the MKO Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, which would have seen the city host the first final for the first time in the competition history, the NFF and GTI announced on Sunday that they have opted for the good old venue on Lagos Island, which hosted the final of the competition consecutively between 1945 and 1972. First known as Association Ground, then as King George V, and later as Lagos City Ground, the venue later became known as the Onikan Stadium after it was built in the 1980s. It became known as Mobolaji Johnson Arena in 2021. The last grand finale to take place at the famous venue was also a memorable one. In 1972, Bendel Insurance FC led Mighty Jets FC 2-0 before two late goals by the late Sam Gaba Okoye tied the game. It had to be replayed 2 days later at the Liberty Stadium, known as the Obafemi Awolowo Stadium, Ibadan. Apart from the Mobolaji Johnson Arena on the waterfront, the city of Lagos has hosted several other finals of the competition, now known as the President Federation Cup. This year's grand finale will see Rivers Angels confront Nigeria Ratters in the women's final, while Abia Warriors take on El Kanemi Warriors in the men's event. Enyimba international striker Chijioke Mboma has emerged the 2023-2024 Nigerian Premier Football League season highest goal scorer with 17 goals. The 21-year-old was on target in their last MPFL match game against Plateau United on Sunday, where he had 2 goals separating him from Remo Star striker Sikiru Alimi, who scored 15 goals. In the last 3 seasons, Enyimba have produced 3 consecutive highest goal scorer in the league, with Victor Mboma in 2021-2022, Emeka Obioma Mbama 2022-2023 and now Chijoko Mbama in 2023-2024 season. Mbama will get 200,000 naira and a Unicef Golden Boot plaque as prizes for emerging the highest goal scorer. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashini.
And that wraps up the news update, the news hour rather, on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all of our social platforms and catch our live stream on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. I'm Sagir Ibrahim, and on behalf of the crew, have a good night.